Welcome to Big Daddy Bakes. I'm Big Daddy, and today we're going to be making Kugelhopf. Kugelhopf is a cake that is yeast resin, so it has some properties of bread. It also has some properties of cake, but it's just delicious. So let's get to it, and I'll show you how to do it. For this recipe, you will need 100 grams of raisins, 150 grams of butter, 140 grams of sugar, 3 large eggs at room temperature, 1 teaspoon of instant yeast, 500 grams of all-purpose flour, 280 milliliters of milk, and we'll need 15 grams of almonds. To start this recipe, I'm going to put the raisins in a larger bowl, and then I've got water here, and I'm just going to cover the raisins. We want these to plump up, so they'll take about an hour to do that. So I will be back in an hour. Alright, so it has been about an hour and the raisins have plumped up and they look nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain off the water. And then I'm going to put the raisins out on a piece of triple thickness kitchen towel, or in my case some paper towel. And I'm going to let those dry off while I'm doing the next bit of this recipe. And I'm just going to blot them, and it will all make much more sense in just a moment. Then I'm going to prep the pan. I'm just using some baking spray. Alright, so it's nice and sprayed. You can use the pan that's actually designed, and this is just a plain old bun pan, and it will work just fine for that. Okay, we're going to continue on with the recipe. So I'm going to add the butter. The butter is room temperature and softened. And I'm going to put in the sugar. It's quite humid where I'm living today, so sugar's a little lumpy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cream the butter and the sugar together. Alright, and so there's our sugar and that, and I'm going to add the eggs one at a time. And I'm going to let them incorporate. And at this point, I'm going to just scrape everything down. Alright, then I'm going to add in the flour. And the yeast. Let that start mixing. And then I'm going to stream in the milk slowly. Alright, I'm just going to kind of scrape down one more time, get the stuff from the divot at the bottom of the bowl, and I'm going to let that run for just a little longer. That's about all we have to do. So you can see it's more like a cake batter than bread dough. Probably in the loosest sense of the word, like bread. So we have our pan that has the almonds spread around in the bottom of it. And then I'm going to just slowly put in the dough on top of it. We don't want... Alright, so there we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this with a towel and I'm going to let this rise for about an hour. And then we'll bake it. So in the last 10 minutes, turn your oven on. Alright, so our cake has risen some. It's not going to rise up high like bread. It will rise a little bit. It's going to bubble a little bit. But that's what you're going to get until it goes in the oven. So it's going to be in the oven for about 45 to 55 minutes. We'll just test it and see if it's ready to go. But this one has risen up a bit. If yours doesn't rise at least a little bit, let it sit out a little bit more time and it will eventually rise up. So this is our bread after it has come out of the oven. It's puffed up and lovely. I'm going to let this stay in the pan for about 10 minutes and I'm going to flip it over and let it out of the pan. It's loose from the pan, I can see it. Then I will show you what it looks like once it's done. So here is our cake after it comes out of the oven. You can see the almonds embedded themselves into it, and it's a really beautiful loaf. And here is the inside. It's soft and moist and really delicious. I think you'll really enjoy making this one. Thank you for joining me here on Big Daddy Bakes. If you like what we do on the channel, please consider liking and subscribing, and also click the bell icon so you'll be notified of any new videos. And once again, thank you so much for joining us.